Hello, hello. I'm Kim, and I'm taking you for a walk today. And we are at the longest covered bridge in the United States, I believe. There's some information over here we're going to look at. So here is some of the view we're going to look at. There's a nice pavilion next to the parking lot. We're going to walk over to that bridge. They've got this little mobile bridge behind me. If you can't see it, it says Ashtabula County Covered Bridge Festival. It's the second week in October. So coming up this weekend coming up. So they have it when the leaves on the trees are going to be like peak color. So they're starting to turn. I didn't want to miss it because it goes fast. They turn their beautiful orange and yellows and dark reds, and then they fall off real quick. So here's let me flip this around. Indian Trails Park, and we're going to go down there. You can drive down there. There's another parking lot down there, and then it curves around, and there's a river down there. Hello, hello. Say hello as you come in. I hope you can hear me okay. We've got this little landmark. These are just the people that helped make this happen. This was a big deal around here when this was built. There's a dedication here to tradesmen who lost their lives. The laborers union, go labor unions. And then we'll look and see. I want to make sure I'm right about the. Hey, Brooke, how are you today? I was late, a little late starting this, late start today. So this would be similar to when you're out at Delphi at their bridge. They had the maps and the information. It's way smaller than this. This is nice. Some historical information. That's 1908 right there. Crazy. Oh, this is Lakeshore Park. This is another place I will take you to. So that pavilion right there is at a park that's right on the lake. We'll go down there. That's very historical. Look at this. I'll talk about this when we go down there. Look at that slide. So that was a slide that went from right next to the pavilion down into the lake. Isn't that crazy? That is long gone. That is not there anymore. That was in the 20s. This still goes on. So down at that place, look, they have, I think every Sunday, everybody takes their old-fashioned cars and goes down and parks, shows them off. Here, covered bridge. We have 18 covered bridges here just in this county. I don't know why. We like to build covered bridges. And the oldest one's from 1850. This is where we're going to go. We're going to go walk through that. Yeah, pretty cool. These flowers right here are really awesome too. Let me show you. You can see the purples and the reds right here. Very pretty, just wild, all wild. And then there's the Gulf. The drive out here was amazing because it is hilly and windy, and it's just driving through those trees. Just trees on both sides. And you can see, let me see if I can make this closer. We'll get as close down here as we can, but right down there is the river. You got to go way down to get to the river down there. All right, let's walk. Let's walk. Hi, everybody. Hope you're having a great day. It is sunny but chilly. It's like 60 today. As soon as it hits the 60s, I'm like, it's cold. It might as well snow. And so I have a long sleeve shirt on today. I debated between pants and shorts. I went with shorts. Yep. I think I'll come back out here one more week next week because like this doesn't even do it justice. There's still too much green, but it's getting there. All right, I gotta walk along this highway, which I want to walk towards traffic. I gotta walk on this road. There's a car coming to get to the bridge. So yeah, it's like 60, little breeze. Oh my gosh, there's a path that goes under the bridge. I've never even walked all the way down here. This isn't some place you really want to go walk alone, I don't think. Like Delphi, too isolated. But with a couple of people, it would be nice. Oh yeah, it's windy. I don't like it. Is my connection okay? Can you hear me okay? Is Skull in here? Can you hear me? Oh, it's nighttime where you're at. It is noon here, noonish. We're gonna walk through this bridge. I'm heading towards this bridge. It's pretty awesome. Everybody comes out here. Our local high school just had their homecoming. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Brooke. Our local high school had their homecoming dance last weekend. I'm sure everybody came out here to take pictures when our kids uh, were doing that. We did the same thing. Oh my gosh, I have never even seen this. There's another little bridge down there. I have to check that out. Carly, you seeing this? We got to go explore. Where are you from, Trendy? Is it Amman? India. Oh wow. I was a teacher, so I would have to teach like the ancient civilizations. So I know that historical part of it. Yep. Welcome. Nice to have you here. That's amazing. Isn't it amazing how we can connect with people all over the world? So maybe I should turn this around so you guys can see. Look. And then the cars drive through. My monthly income. So I was trying to get some. Oh, here, this is awesome. We'll talk about true crime in a second. There's the river. We have had such a drought here lately. Like it's dried up. That's the perfect type of condition to like go out there and just walk barefoot. This is like therapy for me. I'm not going to tell you my monthly income. I'm not going to talk about personal information. Thank you. Uh, you're talking about how much teachers make, not enough. Not enough. Not enough. So I was looking up some information about the Rachel DelTondo case, and I explained her death on our last episode. So she was shot and killed in the front of her house Mother's Day of 2018. And I listened to like the basic information that seemed to come from mainstream news, right? There was a 48 hours episode on her. I want to watch that too. I haven't watched that. But just like the basic information, right? They On my last episode, I was saying how she was caught with that underage boy, Sheldon Jeter, in the car by police, but the report about it, which would be illegal, right? That would be illegal. Um, the report about it wasn't written until a year later. Okay. So that makes it look like they were helping her, I guess. But then I was listening to Lana's investigation. She was working with Sheldon Jeter's family and helping with that portion of the investigation with Tyree Pugh's death. It is harder to find information about his death, so I'm not going to really talk about that today because I don't understand that part that well. But when I was listening to her, there's an opposite side of the coin when it comes to the whole police report with Rachel DelTondo being with Sheldon Jeter at 2 o'clock in the morning. The report's not written until a year later. And I was thinking, someone found out about it, so they hurried up and wrote the report. But then I'm like, there's an idea out there. It's more than an idea. The local police department was in trouble. They were being investigated by the state police. And what started that whole investigation was after they wrote the report about Rachel and the boy. After they wrote the report a year later, it got leaked. They gave a copy of it to her ex-fiance. So I've got some recent tea about him too, an update about him. If Rachel, she started talking about being afraid of the police. She was hanging out with the daughter of the cop that found her with the boy. And at first I thought, well, what if that never even happened? What if she wasn't with that boy? But it doesn't sound like she denied it. She said nothing nefarious was going on, but you shouldn't be in a car with an underage person at 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't care what's going on. So she didn't deny it. They don't write the police report until I think they're trying to get her in trouble. I think it's very plausible. She's hanging out with the daughter of the cop. You don't think she's getting information from that kid? Not all kids like and appreciate some of the things their parents do. What if his daughter was had information, knew about things? TWC Myers, hello, welcome. We are walking out to see the fall leaves. I'm on a covered bridge, longest covered bridge in the United States, and we talk true crime. I like Nirvana. That's my generation's music. I'm Gen X over here. West Virginia. This is Ohio, so you have the same kind of scenery. You have the same kind of climate we do. Yep, so we're out walking and looking at it. Make sure you guys can see. That's the whole point. So now I'm on the path of, were they setting Rachel DelTondo up or getting her in trouble because she had information? And because as soon as that stuff got leaked and people started getting in trouble, she was killed. She was killed. Like, very coincidental. Yes. I also think there was another informant inside the police department. So the state starts investigating because they want to find out about, hey, someone's taking documents that should not be released and releasing them. Who's doing that? Their whole police department got like shut down. They weren't allowed to access certain systems anymore. After that. Okay, so her ex-fiance is Frank Katropa. I had to practice his last name all morning. I could not remember it. Katropa. And he was like a wealthy businessman. I can't remember exactly what he did, but they were kind of like the it couple when they were together. I think he said they were together for like 8 years. A long time. Trying to think what year it was. I think it was 2022. So it's like 2 or 3 years ago. He got arrested for choking. I don't know if they said strangling, choking his current girlfriend and her kid. And her kid. So I was like, oh my God, definite anger issues, like losing his cool. So that is very telling to me. Did you know that, Brooke? Yeah, and her kid. Yep, and I just saw like, it was from the news. It was like a news report, but it was a very quick little like minute something video, so there were no details or anything. So I want to find out more about that. So look, they had to cut down some of the foliage right here, so the cars can see as they're driving by. Yeah, very suspicious, right? So he is definitely, he's the one that requested the report about Rachel from the police. So he's involved in that. Whoever gave the information um, is involved in that. Also, they said Rachel was supposed to testify at a grand jury. So, I mean, to testify at a grand jury, don't you think it would be more than, yes, I was at a parking lot with a boy at 2 a.m. Don't you think there would be more than that? So I think she did know something. Hanging out with, sorry, I gotta clear my throat. Hanging out with, thank you. Go swimming. It's fall around here. We closed our pool a couple weeks ago. So here, this looks like Delphi. The trails that just like pop on and off. Who knows where that goes? I don't know if there's houses down there or not. It's okay, TWC. I wish I could go swimming. Summer is my favorite. Summer is my favorite. Ooh, here's a look at this. This is cool. So, where am I looking? Right. Nope. Right here. There's a path that is going down, and we did get some rain yesterday. Little creek right here. Huh. When I was teaching, a couple times, me and about 3 other teachers, we took our classes everywhere. We would come down here and set up stations and do outdoor learning, and we would catch crawfish, like a kick. No, we would put a kick net, like a kick net, into the water and like pull out whatever insects and things were in there, and it would tell you the quality of the water because only certain insects can like they need real super clean water water to live there. I can't stop my momentum. I'm going downhill. um, yeah, so we would do fun stuff like that. Oh my gosh, I didn't think this road was that long. Yeah, we've talked about getting hot tub. They even have like blow up ones or like portable ones you could have. But I wait for summer. So my point about Rachel DelTondo is I think there's a big scandal with that local police department. I think Rachel and some others knew some information. I don't know about what. And then I think to cover up, and I think that's why she was killed, because of what she knew. And they had to, it was national news when she was killed, so they had to find who did it, right? They had to find who did it, and if the person who did it is the cop she got in trouble, or her fiance who loses his cool, or well, those would be the 2 main suspects. But who do they pin it on? The black high school student, former student that she was associated with. And they never like arrested him for her death. But that's where that Tyree Pugh kid comes in. So he's either related to Sheldon Jeter or just super close friends that like seems like they're almost related. And he's shot and killed. And then they say, and it's in the area where like Sheldon's relatives are, where they live, and they say that they see Sheldon's car driving away from the spot where he was shot and killed. They see him on camera. So there's the pinning him for that. He actually got convicted of that. But he's going to get a new trial, hopefully coming up. If he does, I want to go to it. And because there was jury, what do you call it? One of the jurors lived next to Rachel DelTondo's neighbors, or like she was a neighbor or something like that. Yep. So the other, this isn't really a rabbit hole, but the other crazy thing about this case, so when Rachel was still engaged to, let's say his name, Frank Katropa, I had to think. When she was still engaged to him, I guess she was having this special wedding dress made and probably custom, And then something happened. I don't know if it was when they canceled the wedding or whatever. The mom was on the local news because she got charged with assault and harassment over this wedding dress. Like something happened. I don't know the details. Here's a little like park area down here. You can park down here too. Yeah, crazy. Her mom gets arrested for assault and harassment. She must have wigged out on the wedding dress lady. I have not gone to any court cases. I have been on a jury case for like a minor. I can't think of words today. Oh my goodness. Like a misdemeanor. I don't know what it was, but I did. I was on a jury where we had to say guilty or not guilty. And then I was also on a grand jury. Now, my understanding of when I was on a grand jury, we served for, I want to say it was like almost the whole summer. Like I had to go like once every other week, or it was a weird schedule, twice every other week, something like that. And you showed up all day and you sat in this little room and there was like 13 of you, 13, 14 of you, I can't remember the number. And the prosecutor would come in and they would tell you about a case. And they would say, here's the evidence we have. And then you would have to vote bill, like true bill or no bill. And true bill meant that they have enough evidence, you think they have enough evidence to go to court. And no bill was like, nope, you don't have enough evidence, go back and keep collecting. And you are sworn to secrecy, you're not allowed to talk about any of the cases or anything. And that's all we did. That's all we did all summer. And part of our job also was to, like, we had to tour the local jail. We had to tour the jail, eat the jail food, like make sure that the living conditions and the conditions of the jail were okay. And if we had concerns, we could express them. Yeah, we toured the jail. And I love doing that. Like, if I could be a professional jury person, I would. I like that kind of stuff. So we're going under the bridge. So there's the bridge, and we're going under it. Now, my daughter used to skateboard down here. Look at that. Look at that hill. My daughter and her friends used to be up at the main road at the bridge I walked through. I'll have to show you later. The street is like, it goes down and curves. They would start at the top of the hill, tie it was a longboard, not a skateboard. They would tie their longboard to the back of someone's car, not tie, they would hold on to the back of someone's car, the car would start going, they'd let go, and they would go flying through that gulf. Like, she would show me, and they would videotape it. She has them, they're cool videos, she puts them to music, like, they're doing all kinds of stuff, and I was like, I'm so glad I didn't know you were doing that before you did it. Like, oh my gosh. She's my daredevil. Hi, Lori. That's okay. I figured you were probably, napping or something. TWC, I did not have to wear jail clothes. We weren't like, they didn't put us in there as inmates. We just went in there as citizens to observe and make sure that no extremely horrible or anything like that. What do you think about where I'm at, Lori? Okay, so I have been over this bridge. Here's that other little bridge that we looked at from up there. Look at that, that's a cool view right there. So we were up there, and we walked down here, and then now we're going to that. Yeah, it is beautiful here. So that's my updates about the Rachel DelTondo case. But it gets so much more convoluted with them. If they set up Sheldon Jeter to take the fall for that Tyree Pugh's death, that would mean they were just trying to implicate him into that whole mess so that they can blame him for Rachel's death. Oh, I'm too short for this. Oh, here, we can see. Look. There we go. Isn't that pretty? So the road's back there. Chef H, I didn't see you. Hello, hello. And then here's the bridge we're in. Take you to the other side. My daughter took homecoming pictures down here. There's the other side. Oh, I can't see. The sun is right in my face. It's like a little babbling brook, but it's supposed to be part of the river. Oh, you have a high bridge? We don't have one called the high bridge here. Ponds, yeah. So this is a river. You can't swim in it at this part. You can see how low it is, but this river connects to Lake Erie, and when it gets closer to the mouth, going out to the lake, Lori's in here. She will kayak. You can kayak on the river. We don't really swim in it. People swim in the lake. When I take you down to Lakeshore Park, I will show you. There's a beach down there. I used to swim in the lake when I was in high school because I was young and stupid and like had no fear. But now that I know about water quality, I wouldn't touch that lake. Our water treatment plant is right at the beach. Like the water goes out, water comes in. Yeah. No, thank you. We had to dredge our river because, here, I'll give you guys an ecology lesson. Lori, look at these trails. If you're still in here, we got to come down here. I'm not going to go any further by myself because, true crime. But I'm going to come down here with my daughter and friends and explore. But I'm heading back right now. People could still hear me scream. What was I saying? Oh, the ecology of. Oh, we had to dredge the river because there were so many toxic hotspots, like toxic, on several of the Great Lakes because back in the 70s, there was no like EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, that was protecting our waters. And so they were just they dumped so much into our water that another river by Cleveland, the Cuyahoga River, caught fire. The river caught fire because it was so polluted. So they had to dig out all the sludge at the bottom of our river, and then they put them in barrels, and then they just buried them somewhere. And then that helped the water quality. So now it's not toxic anymore. I know. Oh, don't talk about snakes. I'm glad I'm not in that wooded part anymore. Snakes or spiders. Hi. Oh, they're beautiful. Little puppies. Just past someone walking their dogs. I love when people have two dogs. I used to have two dogs. Do you guys have pets? We had two dogs and a cat. They were tiny little dogs. They were like 1 pound each when we got them. They were see if I can remember. Pomeranian and some kind of a poodle mix. They were tiny and they had that Pomeranian fluffy fur and fluffy tail. They're the best dogs. And we got two of them, so we had two kids. And I was terrified to get two. Best decision ever. Best decision ever. They played with each other. They were always together. Ooh, this was a good walk. I want to walk over there. Look at this. But I'm afraid the ground will be too wet. Let me see. That's not too bad. Let's see how close I can get. Because it rained yesterday. We were supposed to get like an inch of rain yesterday. I don't think we got that much, but we needed it desperately. A Mastiff and St. Bernard. I always thought I wanted a St. Bernard. I'm so jealous. That's awesome. I always thought like I wanted this great big bear dog, you know, but we got, our first dog was a golden, not a retriever, a Labrador, a yellow Labrador. And our kids were like 1 and 2. The dog was too hyper. And our neighbors had already a couple Labradors. So they took her and they had her whole life. And she was right down the street and I could see her and they took care of her and, you know, didn't have to do the pound or anything like that. So after that, I was like, no more dogs. This is pretty cool. You youngins could make it down here. I've got this too blown up. There's some vines right there you could step on to get down, but I'm not doing that. So, ooh, look at that. That's cool. Hollowed out tree. So we just came from behind that little bridge. There's the big covered bridge. Oh, I hear kids. Oh, see, I didn't even see them out there. Who knows how far back they were. That's why I didn't go. All right, you guys, what are your latest feelings about the Idaho 4 case? Like, I want to talk about it today, and I'm like, there is so much. I don't even know where to start, but I was showing in my video the other day, some of you saw that, where the presser with the Long Island serial killer case, and how the police in Moscow, when they said, hey, we arrested somebody, we arrested him because we got a white car. That's literally what they said. We arrested him because we have a white car. Okay. So then I started thinking, and everybody's been saying, how did you get to Bryan? How did you get to Bryan? Like, that's what everybody's on the manhunt for. I've read 40 documents so far. There's nothing in there about Bryan Kohberger. Thousands of documents have been released. Other people have read them online. Nothing about, not a picture of the sheath. Even if the picture of the sheath isn't in the room, even if it's just, here's the sheath we found. Haven't even seen that yet. But I was thinking back to Howard Bloom's book and still comparing it with the Long Island serial killer case, because how they got to Rex Heuermann was they set up like a cell tower quad, they called it, like, what do you want to call that when you set up a perimeter or something, right? They knew the victims' phones, so they saw the victims' phones are all in this area. Whose other phones are in this area
They could probably tell if they were making contact with the victim. So like they did that. And that's how they landed on their victim. They explained it. They explained it at their press conference. So in the Bryan Kohberger case, Howard Bloom, in his book, said that they had a